Hey guys, how you doing? Uncle Bob here once again with another video, and today we're going to be doing the review of the recently released Fast X, or Fast 10 I should say, Fast 10 movie DVD review. So it's obviously the 10th installment of the Fast and Furious movie franchise, and just thinking how quick it's gone since the last one. The last one was 2020, Fast and Furious 9, and yeah, it doesn't seem that seems to have gone quite quick since I think the last one came out in 2020. I think it seems to have gone quick since that. Last couple of years, all since COVID, when COVID-19 started, it all seems to have gone so quick since then. But obviously this one was released earlier in the year. Can't remember exactly when the date was, I'm not sure if it's March or April. But, it's quite recently, and then it's just literally come out on DVD sometime last week, or might have been the week before, I'm not too sure, but it's quite recent, so doing my review on that, and yeah, so obviously continuing from the saga of Fast 9, the events, and obviously, yeah, it's pretty much a lot of the same cast that have been in it before, and also like previous films. I mean, it's a massive cast now. The cast's just grown as they've kept adding more people, and it's like just a massive cast now. I don't know. Maybe you could argue the case and say maybe too many actors, but I suppose as it's got bigger and bigger over the years, they had to keep adding people, and it's just got bigger and bigger. And actually, I thought this was going to be the last one, but I just heard that we're actually going to make two more films, at least two more. I think they're making two more normal Fast and Furious films, and also another Hobbs and Shaw, like a sequel. So there's more going to be coming. So I thought this was the last one, but obviously, no, there's going to be more coming. I don't know what they're going to do at that stage, because they seem to have done all that they can do, in terms of ideas, but I'm sure they're going to think of more ideas. Maybe they'll have to go into space and do film. I mean, to be honest, maybe the saga's gone as far as it can go, even though they're going to make more. But I don't know. I'd hate to say it's the end, but I think there's only so much you can do. I mean, there doesn't need to really be 10 films in every franchise, or so many, but, I mean, they're all enjoyable, and I do like the franchise, and I think they're all cool films, and they've each got their own thing where they're all good. And yeah, as I said, going back to the cast, obviously the man himself, Vin Diesel, back again, and obviously the other cast, Ludacris, Tyrese Gibson, that's always in the films, Charlize Theron, Brie Larson's in this. I think this is Brie Larson's first one, or I can't remember if she was in the last one or not. I think it's the first one. John Cena in this, obviously coming in the last one, and now in this. Jason Statham back again in this. He's not in it much, but he's in it a little bit. The Rock comes back and makes a surprise appearance at the end after he's saying he wasn't going to be in it, but then he makes a surprise appearance at the end. He's not in it long. It's probably in about 2 seconds at the end when he said he weren't going to be in it. But in this type of industry, money talks. So he probably got paid loads and loads of money just to appear in it for 2 seconds, even though he said he wasn't going to. Because I know he doesn't like Vin Diesel anymore, but you know, there's always a chance he probably could come back in the other films. They could probably become friends again or make up what's happened, but I don't know. As I say, money talks, and when they put the offers in, you know, they usually, you know, despite saying they don't want to be in it, they suddenly decide they do, because you know they get paid so much. But yeah, as I said, so John Cena, Statham, and you know the usual suspects that are in a lot of the other films back in it again. And as I said, probably thought that this was going to be, you know, the last one, but then you know they came up with more ideas, and as it goes as far as the film goes, now if I'm being honest, I don't think it's the best one. Um, there's some cool ideas, that, you know, that look really good, and the action, you know, is just as good as it always is in these films. And in this, it's probably even some things they do even more extreme, and better than what they've done before. You know, because they try and step it up each time and make it more extreme and more better than it was before. And you know, this is no exception where they do that. You know, as regards to the stunts, you know, they're really, really good. And you know, as I said, they do a few things in here that I hadn't done before, and you know, some stuff better and you know, really good as far as goes to stunts. You know, which are really, really good. So you know, as far as goes the action, the violence, stunts, and all that. That's all good. There's never really a problem with that, to be honest. Um, as far as goes the story, um, this is seems to be a bit of a thing where it can come across a bit silly, where some of the characters you think that have died in previous films, and then they suddenly turn up. You know, they're back from the dead, or supposedly died in a previous film, and then all of a sudden they just reappear, which you know, it sort of makes it seem like all the characters are indestructible and can't die. It doesn't matter how many times you know the cars get blown up, or you know you think they're dead, they just suddenly come back to life, which makes you think, well, it's a bit pointless, really, because you know, if you've got a film where no one's going to die and just or supposedly die and then come back from the dead, it just defeats the whole sort of object of anyone getting killed, you know, and then they're just coming back to life. You know, it doesn't really seem, you know, pointless. And then also the other thing is sometimes when you think someone's a goodie, a good guy, and all of a sudden they're bad, and vice versa. You know, sometimes you think someone's been bad and all of a sudden they become good. Like in particular, Jason Statham's character, you know, he was bad at the beginning, then he become good, which you know it seems a bit silly. Because 1 minute someone's good, then they're bad, then they're bad, then they're good, and sometimes people get killed, and then all of a sudden they come back in the next film, which you know it's a bit silly. But you know they keep changing these things so many times. But as I said, as far as goes, the action is good. The story, to be honest, it's all right because the character, the villain, main villain, is Jason Momoa. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not good with pronouncing names. I think it's Jason Momoa or something like that. But anyway, obviously he's been in other films, Aquaman, and he actually does right. Actually, I think he got a bit criticism of his character, but I actually think he did quite alright in this, and I think he played the villain quite well. So he's the main villain or antagonist, and yeah, he does quite a good job. And it's sort of, oh, this is the other thing. It goes back at the beginning. It goes back, I believe it's 10 years to 2013 when I think it's Fast and Furious 5 or 6, I can't remember. So it goes back 10 years of how the character that plays him. Can't think of the actual character name in the franchise, but the person that Jason Momoa plays. Um, Basically, 10 years ago, uh, during the scene that was on the bridge, Jason was actually involved in that, chasing Vin Diesel's character, and apparently they met whilst there, and they was involved in the chase, and then obviously the events of what happened. So it basically goes back to 10 years, and then obviously you see Paul Walker, because obviously he was alive back then. So that was a nice touch, actually, having Paul in the film. Obviously it's a flashback of going back, so he's in it only due to a flashback. But so yeah, it goes back to 10 years, and you see Jason's character chasing, involved in that chase scene, and yeah, so it goes back to then how they met, and then obviously now 10 years later, Jason's character obviously reappears, and obviously he's got a vendetta against Vin Diesel and that, and yeah, he's trying to get revenge on him, going after his family and stuff. Yeah, and then so it goes back to 10 years to show how Jason's character got involved in it, and then obviously 10 years going forward, it actually goes back to that. It doesn't go back again to 10 years later, but it goes back to the scene where that scene took place 10 years ago, and then that's during the end of it. So it takes you back, so obviously he's got a vendetta from 10 years ago. Yeah, it makes sense. If you've seen it, you'll know. But yeah, so that's how that's involved in that. In the storyline, so it's that storyline is right. As I said, I don't think it's the best storyline they've done, and I think, to be honest, I think maybe Fast and Furious 9 might actually be better in some ways. I think it was done better. I like the whole idea of. Won't talk about it too much because it's mainly about this, but the character that plays John, John Cena, the character he plays, obviously Dom's Vin Diesel's brother, and I did like the storyline of that, and I felt that was quite better than this. But as I said, the action's always going to be good, and they're always going to try and top what they've done before, as regards to stunts and action scenes. And I think they did do that, but I don't know. I think, as I said, I think even Fast and Furious 8 and 9, and even 7 might just be slightly better than this. But as I said, the actions is pretty good. Yeah, and as I said, it's hard because they keep making the action scenes and trying to make them better and better as as they keep going on. So when you say to like, is it better than previous ones? Well, in one way, the other previous films are better, but as regards to the action scenes, you could say that they're better because they improve it slightly more. But yeah, I think I'm leaning towards Fast 7, Fast 8, Fast 9 being overall better than this. But as I said, it's still pretty strong and still pretty a good film. I think there's weaknesses there, as regards to the storyline being slightly weak. Maybe overall, particularly the end, maybe that last action scene isn't as good as previous. I think they've gone bigger before. So yeah, there's slight things that are a bit, and and also, as I said, characters keep coming back from the dead when they're supposedly dead, and then people being good 1 minute and then bad the next, and vice versa. And yeah, so there's a few issues there, but overall it's still pretty strong, and the action and stuff is really good, and Vin Diesel was good as always. But yeah, I mean, it's still going to probably go down as one of the best films of the year. I don't think it'll be the best film overall. It's going to be one of them, probably in the top 10. But I think that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, on the DVD it's got loads of bonus features on it. But yeah, I think I'm going to wrap this up now because I've been talking about it for 15 minutes and I think that's long enough for this review. But as I said, oh yeah, I didn't see it at the cinema, but I've seen it once so far on DVD, and I'll watch it again at some stage. Don't know when that's going to be. But, yeah, so that's my overall review on it. So guys, that's pretty much going to be it. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh yeah, I'm going to be doing all of the Fast and Furious films on the next video. So if you like Fast and Furious, stay tuned for that. That's going to be coming up. So guys, that's going to be it from me. Take care. Bye for now. See you soon.